Welcome to This Explainer, Episode 11, The End Game. You know, you've finally done it. You have sold your private condo. After 15 to 20 years of disciplined asset progression, you've accumulated $2 million or more in equity. You are finally ready for the ultimate milestone in Singapore property, landed housing. Let's dive right into exactly how you secure this multi-generational foundation. Here's our agenda for today's Explainer. We're going to cover the ultimate scarcity asset, types of landed property, who can buy landed, the step-by-step purchase process, and finally, the generational wealth vehicle. Let's get to it.
Section 1. The ultimate scarcity asset, the true peak of the property ladder. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that landed properties make up less than 5% of Singapore's total housing stock. Just 5%. So a landed home here, it's not just some luxury purchase. It is literally the ultimate scarcity asset. The core philosophy of the landed endgame boils down to this. Structures are temporary, but land is permanent. The structure sitting above ground, well, you can always renovate it, extend it, or completely rebuild the whole thing. But the land itself is permanent. Because you own that individual land title in a country that definitely isn't getting any bigger, that land is always going to hold incredible value. This right here is exactly how true generational wealth is stored.
Moving on to Section 2, Types of Landed Property, categorizing the ascent.
So, there's actually a distinct property ladder right within the landed market itself. Your entry point is the terrace house. This is part of a row of at least 3 attached houses, and they usually run between $2 and $5 million. Step up from that, and you've got the corner terrace. This gives you some extra land on the side, which is great, and usually commands about a 15 to 25% premium. Then we move into the semi-detached house. This is one half of a pair sharing a common wall, giving you way more privacy for around $3 to $8 million. And finally, the detached house, or bungalow, completely standalone. This premium tier ranges anywhere from $5 million to over $30 million.
But wait, there is one category above them all, the good class bungalow, or GCB. This is Singapore's absolute most exclusive landed category. They're restricted to very specific prime residential areas designated by the URA, and they require a massive minimum land area of 1,400 square meters. Get this, there are fewer than 2,800 GCBs in all of Singapore, with prices ranging from $15 million to $100 million and beyond. This is the absolute ultimate legacy asset.
All right, Section 3, Who can buy landed, navigating strict eligibility rules.
Okay, so Singapore citizens can buy any landed property freely, zero restrictions. However, if you're a Singapore permanent resident, you cannot buy freely on the mainland. You actually have to apply to the Singapore Land Authority, the SLA, for approval. And guys, approval is definitely not guaranteed. You need at least 5 years as a PR and an exceptional economic contribution to the country. So, the critical strategy implication here, if you're a PR and landed property is your long-term goal, you really need to seriously consider obtaining Singapore citizenship just to clear those hurdles.
And for foreigners, the barriers are even more intense. You cannot freely buy landed property on mainland Singapore at all. You are entirely restricted to purchasing in one designated area, Sentosa Cove, and even then, you still need SLA approval. Plus, on top of paying $5 to $15 million for a Sentosa Cove bungalow, foreigners are hit with a massive 60% flat additional buyer's stamp duty. 60%! That makes entering the landed market staggeringly expensive for non-citizens.
Okay, let's dive into this next part. Section 4, Step-by-step purchase process, executing the transaction.
Step 1, determine your budget. Beyond the purchase price and stamp duties, you've got to factor in renovations. That's often $200,000 to $500,000 just to get the house livable. Step 2, research your areas. Are you eyeing prime districts 10 and 11, where things start at $4.5 million? Or maybe District 20 in Bishan, super popular with upgraders because it's close to great schools. Or District 28 in Seletar for more affordable, larger plots. Step 3, engage a specialist landed property agent. Don't just use any agent. You need someone with a specific landed track record in your target area. And Step 4 is due diligence, which is honestly a massive undertaking.
Because unlike standard condo checks, buying a landed home means you absolutely must commission a building inspection to verify structural integrity. You have to check for land encroachments and manually verify the land title at the SLA. You also need to intensely review the URA master plan. Imagine if there's a new expressway or industrial zone planned right next door that could totally tank your property's value. And finally,
always check the lease type. In the landed game, you should always prefer freehold or 999-year leaseholds.
Moving on, step 5 is making the offer. Keep in mind, landed property is much less liquid than condos, and sellers are often incredibly emotionally attached to these family homes, so negotiations can literally take weeks. Step 6 involves the legal process, which requires a lawyer who is super experienced in complex land conveyancing. And finally, step 7 is executing your renovation. If you're looking at doing full additions and alterations to an older terrace, budget around $300,000 to $500,000. But if you want to completely tear the whole thing down and reconstruct a brand new house from scratch, you're going to need to budget between $800,000 and $1.5 million just for the construction alone.
Section 5. The Generational Wealth Vehicle. Securing your family's future.
So the crucial point is this: why go through all this immense effort and expense? Well, it all comes down to one core economic truth. Structures depreciate, but freehold land appreciates. That right there is the central philosophy behind Singapore's generational property wealth.
Think about it. When you buy a 99-year leasehold condo, the underlying asset inherently depreciates towards zero as the lease ticks down. But a freehold landed property does the exact opposite. While the physical bricks and mortar of the house might age and depreciate, that highly scarce, literally unmanufacturable piece of land sitting beneath it appreciates perpetually.
Let's break down the economics of this. First off, Singapore's population grows, but its land stock absolutely does not. It is geographically constrained. Second, your family can tear down and rebuild a brand new home on that exact same plot for generations without ever losing the underlying land value. Third, if you manage to hold a really large plot, it could eventually qualify for redevelopment into multiple units, or even a massive en bloc sale windfall. And finally, for estate planning, you can place this freehold asset into a family trust, passing it directly to your kids while minimizing estate duties. It's a total game changer.
To bring this all together, let's look at the aspirational journey of a couple, Alex and May. After 20 years of super disciplined asset progression, starting with just $30,000 in savings, they successfully secure a $3.2 million terrace house in District 19. Fast forward another 20 years as their children grow, that exact same plot of land could easily be worth $5 to $8 million, depending on Singapore's development. It is the ultimate transformation from modest savings into an ironclad family legacy. That is the true endgame. I want to leave you with this powerful question to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. Are you building a property portfolio just for yourself, for your own lifetime, or are you building a foundation for the next generation? Because understanding the mechanics of landed property empowers you to choose the latter. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this gave you a clear, structured roadmap to the absolute peak of Singapore property ownership. Keep learning and keep building.